Sorry I'm late, guys. I was taking a crap.
To League Podcast, the League versus TheSting. I'm Matt Durson.
And I'm John O'Halloran Hunt.
Clay Inferno here.
All right, welcome back to our League versus. This is a Clay pick, and I'm glad he picked it. I've never seen this movie.
Me neither.
All these years.
And Mrs. Elder was happy because she really likes this movie. So everybody was happy.
Everybody went.
In fact, here she is to talk about it. Oh, hello, boys. How's it going? It was a great movie. All right. That was dumb. I'll shut up.
I remember, though, we talked about this. Maybe it was North by Northwest or whatever. I talked about, the movies in the classic section of the video store. And I think this was in there.
What was the section? I seem to recall it in the corner near the window. What section was that? Was that comedy?
Oh, actually, yeah. It may have been in the comedy.
I can't remember.
Maybe, I don't know if there was a year cutoff that made it, whether it was classic. Yeah. But this was one of those movies in that sort of, it maybe not have been in the classic section, but it was considered a classic. And I just thought old movies couldn't possibly be good.
No, because they're old. Anything old is dumb. Just like us. We're old and dumb.
Yeah, it's true.
The funny thing was that we went to the NDSO, the North Dakota Symphony Orchestra, where they were doing a movie night, and they played The Entertainer that night. So we had heard it just before we watched the movie.
Wow.
I mean, we weren't it was a couple days before. It wasn't like we heard them play it and then ran home and watched the movie just to tie it all in. It was several days between, but it was pretty ironic, or not really.
Well, it was a coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, there we go. I'm going to just shut up. I'm kind of tired. I'm not making any sense.
Good night, everybody.
I use that as my walk-on music for the stand-up set.
Oh, nice.
It is it's kind of a good catch-all song. We're talking about Scott Joplin's The Entertainer, and it plays over the opening credits of TheSting, which are awesome, by the way. I love these opening credits. We're going to just get right into it, I suppose.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
The credits are amazing. All the little title cards that they have throughout the movie are amazing.
They're like Rockwell paintings. And because we like this movie, we don't have to do pre-final thoughts.
Yeah, they look like old Norman Rockwell Saturday Evening Post or whatever covers. Like even the font they use for TheSting is
font.
The font.
Oh, typeface.
So if you're not aware, this film came out in 1973. It stars Robert Redford and Paul Newman, who also worked together with the same director. Was it George Roy Hill on Butch and Sundance? 4 years before this, Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid was same team, basically.
Yeah.
So that's another classic. And Robert Shaw, one of my favorite, and even though I've only pretty much seen him in this now and Jaws, he's still my favorite actor.
If we ever get around to doing From Russia with Love, he's like the main hench dude in that.
Yeah. I mean, he is so good.
That role was originally supposed to go to Peter Boyle of Young Frankenstein fame.
Oh.
Everybody Loves Raymond fame?
Yeah. He ghosted them and said he was going to do it and then didn't.
Well, I think this ended up as a better choice.
Yeah, I mean, nothing against Peter Boyle, but I think.
And this is Zanuck and Brown, who also produced Jaws. So
yeah, I was just going to bring that up. You stole my line.
I'm sorry. I'll unknowledge drop that.
It's okay. Go back and listen to our Jaws episode from a few months ago there. Yeah, it is. I mean, I guess I never quite knew what to expect. But the Entertainer playing and the way the credits and everything, I'm like, oh, this is a much more fun movie than I guess I thought. I never really knew anything about it. So
it's do you guys like Johnny Dangerously?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it in forever, but I did enjoy it at the time.
Yeah, it's like it occupies the same space, but like Johnny Dangerous is obviously like a farce, kind of like Airplane or something like that.
I remember the Weird Al song very well.
It's definitely.
I remember the old timey movies. Your testicles and you.
I kind of got like a Midnight Run vibe almost in some parts of this movie.
Yeah, it's very similar in its tone.
Yeah, the tone, not obviously. Yeah, story is very different, but so, and also that episode of The Simpsons where Abe is talking about like how he was a grifter back in the day or whatever. The movie takes place September 1936. Starts off with some feet just walking along. And it goes into this place. It's like I guess this is like a loan shark kind of thing. And he gives him some cash. He's like, take it to Chicago in the 415. See? He doesn't say see. I
had that. Yeah, just to add a little color to the scene.
So the guy goes out with the envelope full of money, and we get like the Spider-Man origin thing here. The guy's running. He's like, hey, trip him or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, just looking out for number one, me, or whatever Spider-Man says.
Yeah. So he's like, he's got my wallet. So this guy, he's like, hey, he has my wallet. And then, so we see Johnny Hooker, who is Robert Redford. So he like stops the guy, throws like a trash can at him, whatever. The guy who was robbed, who was Luther, not Luthor, lad, but Luther. So he's like, hey, look, I got to get this money to pay this off. It's like $5,000. He's like, I'll give you 100 if you get it to him, because the guy's been stabbed. Luther has been stabbed in the legs. But so Robert Redford's no, but the other guy who had like the envelope, he's like, yeah, I'll do it. Hooker is like, here, you got a handkerchief? He's like, so he takes the envelope with the money and wrap it in the handkerchief, put it on the front of your pants. No self-respecting guy will check you there or something like that. And then he's like, yeah, give me that other envelope too. He's like, they're going to find it. If they're going to search you, they're going to find it. Because he thinks that this guy's going to come back, the guy that they stopped. Yeah, he's like, yeah, no one will search it. So the guy gets in the cab. He's all happy because he thinks he just made $100.
No, he thinks he made $5,000.
Well, I guess, yeah.
How much was it again? I forgot.
It was $5,000.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, when he showed him how to stuff it down the front of his pants, he switched him. And he handed him just an empty handkerchief with like paper in it.
With the Kleenex or tissues, rather.
Yes. And he's because he was in the cab and he's like, oh yeah, look at all this. And he's like, oh,
son of a.
So Luther and Hooker, they just kind of run off. And they have all the money now. So, but they have a lot more than they thought. Like that envelope of cash that was for the loan shark. They're like, oh my God. First thing Hooker does is buy a nice new suit.
Yeah, pinstripe suit.
Yeah,
chalk stripe suit.
Roses and champagne, and he's skipping around, skippity-doo-dah-day.
Exactly. And so he goes to a burlesque show. And
hubba hubba.
Yeah, Devastator wasn't there, but it was so nice.
But I did watch this movie with both Jeannie Martini and Devastation. And Jeannie Martini kept saying, oh my God, she's like, I love this movie. I've seen this 1,000 times. Let's like watch it again. And we stayed up late like that night after the show and watched this movie.
Oh, nice.
And she was like, one time I ran into, I saw Robert Redford because he was like filming a movie, and somebody went up to him and was like, can I just look in your eyes? And he's like, no. And he put his sunglasses on.
Well, it is weird. I mean,
yeah, that's a little
weird. Yeah, I have a Robert Redford story for you. I used to work with this guy way back when. Remember Creepy Peter? I used to talk.
I remember.
Yes. He was just this weird guy that like, he was just strange, but he was an excellent designer, but he was a weird guy. And his brother worked at ILM and worked on different films and stuff. And one time he asked if I wanted an ILM t-shirt, and I was like, great, yeah, sure. And he's like, okay, it'll give me $25. I'll give it to my brother to get. I was like, oh, I thought you meant the way you sounded. But anyway, but then he talked about Robert Redford and how like Robert Redford ate all like this super healthy food, and like he was always eating salads and stuff. So he farted a lot. And Creepy Peter is like, he's like, so yeah. Then he was very mumbly low. He's like, so it kind of changes your image of him now, doesn't it? So every time now, I just think of him stinking like farts or something. So I can't, it's probably not even true, but I can't get it out of my mind. And now, neither can you. Well,
no, you're right. Oh, maybe
just gonna see old stinky butt
1973. Hopefully in 1973, maybe he wasn't too worried.
He wasn't worried back then. He was still a young man. He didn't have to think about eating right.
Actually, here's a kind of a side knowledge drop here. So between Paul Newman and Robert Redford, of course, they're two of the most handsome devils that you would have come across back then. So Edith Head won her final Academy Award for costume design for this movie. She did like all of Hitchcock's movies.
Oh, we saw her work in Notorious last week.
That's right. So when she went up to accept her award, she said, like, all I had to do was dress Robert Redford and Paul Newman, and you give me an Academy Award.
Yeah.
For the Oscars, they were nominated for 10 and won 7.
Yeah, they like swept. Anyway, so he's got his champagne and his roses and his nice suit. He goes up to the girl who just got off stage at the burlesque show, and he's like, "Hey, let's get out of here. I just came into some money." And she's like, "All right." They go to this bar. It's so funny to me that you used to be able to go to just a bar and play roulette or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that was kind of like a underground sort of like speakeasy gambling place.
Yeah, I don't think it was that hard to get in. Like, you know, whatever. If you know, you know.
They didn't have the internet back then or smartphones. They had to do something else with their time.
They had to do something else.
They're like, well, what do you want to do? Smartphones aren't invented yet, or the internet.
Yeah, let's just go to that bar and play some roulette. So he gambles $3,000 on Red. What the hell kind of a person does that? I don't know. He's flawed. So they're like, I was like, you can't, you know, first the dealer guy is like, I don't know if you can, but they let him do it. And then there's this big guy back in a hat. Of course, everybody wore hats, so I guess it's not a big thing, but he kind of.
I miss hat culture.
Yeah, I kind of do too, especially he's in a bald. You know.
Let's see.
But I mean, if you wear a hat like that now, people look at you. I want it to be like everyone wears hats.
Yeah. They're like, women are like, that's dumb, and it's attributed to that. If you know that that meme of like that really heavy guy with like that half-grown-in beard, and he's all like, "Hey, ladies." Like, there's a specific meme people point to that ruined hats for everyone because of him.
Yeah, stupid, gross beard guy.
What can you do?
Anyways, this guy, he like rigs the table, comes up black, and he loses all the money that he just got from that big score that he just had.
I have a cinema knowledge drop here. That is also a callback to the Black 22 that is in the same spot Rick Blaine uses for both Captain Renault and the Bulgarian couple to set them up to win in Casablanca.
Whoa, crazy.
Black 22. How about that? And the girl gets all mad and she's out of there. She storms off. Meanwhile, the guy that they swindled, or no, not that guy, but he goes to tell his boss, yeah, like the guy, they got him $11,000, you know, and so they have to call their boss, who is Robert Shaw Lonergan. Doyle Lonergan is his name. Lonergan. He's all Irish. He's very Irish.
Yeah, and that was why I was John O'Halloran tonight.
That's right. And I love it. Like they show him from behind. It's like a Dr. Claw thing, but it's so much more menacing. He's like, have some local guys take care of it. Nothing fancy. I like that. Nothing fancy. Just break his legs or something. I mean, whatever. I love it. Nothing fancy. So anyways, Hooker goes to see Luthor, lad. But anyway, yeah, I can't stop doing that. Luthor.
That's all right.
It's great though. He walks in and they're all like, there's like his wife, or is that his mother, I suppose, there? Or there's just people all around.
I thought it was his wife, but I don't know.
Well, I think there's two women, right? Maybe one of them is whatever. One of them is his wife.
The one, I think there was a daughter, because she's like, yeah, gonna go pray.
Oh, maybe that was, yeah. But they're talking about like grifting, all these things, scams they used to pull back in the day or whatever. They're like, oh yeah, man. Anyway, we go in. They all leave, and he goes to see Luthor to split up the winnings, basically. So Luthor is Robert Earl Jones, who I was like, wow, he looks a lot like James Earl Jones. And is that his brother? It's his dad.
Oh, crazy.
I mean, James Earl Jones just passed away, and he was pretty old.
Yeah, like, he was in his 90s.
Robert Earl Jones died in 2006.
Robert Earl Jones did. Yeah.
Yes, and he was born in 1910.
Holy
That's a good run, man. You got those genes. They live forever, just about.
Yeah, right. Well, in this, he gets his cut, and he's like, how much did you lose? And Hooker says, all of it. And there's more like grifter talk or whatever. If I lose track of some of the plot points of this movie, it's only because the dialogue is so crazy.
Let's say he tells him that he's getting out of the game.
Yeah, so he's getting out. Yeah. And he tells him to look up this guy, Gondorf, Henry Gondorf, who is Paul Newman.
Gandalf.
And of course, Gandalf. Yes, that's his name. That's right. He's got a big beard and a stick.
Yeah, it's a real character.
So anyways, he doesn't want him to go. He's like, whatever. So he's walking out, and there's this little guy who I didn't know. His name is Kid Erie, or Erie, they call him. But on IMDb, it says Kid Erie. I'm like, okay. So then, like, they're walking home and talking about Luthor getting out, whatever. And then the cops come, and they, like, beat on him a little bit. This guy Schneider, this cop, he's a crooked cop. I think he says he's bunko.
Crooked cop.
Yeah. Yeah. He always uses the term bunko, which I think is just a great word. But anyways, so.
Time to bring it back.
Yeah, let's bring back bunko.
Listen here, bunko.
Bunko pop.
I think we need to get someone on those Funkos. They are kind of a scam, aren't they? Get a bunko on the Funko. So that guy, they were watching. And they're mad because he stole the money. They were watching that guy and whatever. So, and he's like, Lonergan's gonna come for you. And he says he needs. So what? Like Hooker has to like pay him off. He's like, yeah, I need another $1,000 or whatever. And so he leaves, but it was counterfeit. So I mean, that's fine. But then, like, he says, oh, Lonergan's gonna come, and now he realizes Luthor is in danger. He does the old school, like, throw the lady out of the phone booth.
Yeah.
And then he runs. There's no answer. So and it's so funny that little Erie's there, and the lady he threw out of the phone booth, she starts beating him with her pocketbook. But he's got to run back to Luthor's place, and Luthor has been thrown out the window. It's very violent
It reminded me of the scene like in Batman Returns where Commissioner Gordon is like talking to Batman like out the window there. Like it's like got the curtains are like all open, and he's like, what happened here? What happened here? And then they go to the alley, and there's poor Luthor on the ground, beaten up, dead. And his wife comes back from church or wherever, and she's like, Luthor, no.
Just like James Earl Jones would say, no.
I love it's the classic, like, I'm getting out, and then he dies, because it's probably only classic because the Sting did it. And Erie is like, you got to get out of here. They're going to come for you. And so then we get our first title card. And like, when I saw this, I was like, that's so fun. I love it. It says the setup. It's so cool. So yeah, he goes to meet Gondorf, the guy that Luthor told him to. There's this woman, Billy, who we see a lot in this movie. She's all suspicious. She's like, who wants to know kind of thing, But she lets him in, and there's a carousel.
Yeah.
What is this place?
I think it's like a brothel, speakeasy hidden inside this kind of almost amusement park, like a small version of an amusement park where they have a carousel. And it's a big, spoiler warning, big thrill for the girls in the brothel to get to ride the carousel one night after hours.
Yeah,
can I have the keys to the carousel? The girls want to go for a spin.
She does say that. So anyway, he goes in, and Gondorf he's like snoring. He looks over, he's sleeping on the floor. So Hooker picks him up and puts him in the tub. and he tells him what he's there, and I love Paul Newman says, "Glad to meet you, kid. You're a real horse's ass." I'm gonna say that next time I meet someone for the first time.
But they got to have a little bit of a mouth on them before you.
Right. Yeah, Hooker is not impressed by this guy, and then Luther said you could learn something, and he said, "Well, I already know how to drink." That was a good one too. But apparently, yeah, like Gondor, he said he used to be big time and whatever. So, and then Gondorf does my favorite thing. He does the Huey Lewis with the ice. Puts his ice in the sink and puts his face.
He starts singing "I Want a New Drug." It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Lots of sink action in our movies lately.
Yeah.
Bathroom sink is getting a lot of attention.
We cut to some more Robert Shaw goodness here. He basically just tells him to stay on Hooker. And then back to Hooker and Gondorf, and he wants, so basically Hooker wants to get revenge for Luther. He wants to get Lonergan. He wants to take Lonergan down. And he's like, all right, we'll do it. And then they start at the carousel, which is just fun, but I don't know.
Making sure it's working.
Yeah, it's a fun backdrop. I'm glad they added it in. It's such a random thing, but I like it. And then they go for mani-pedis. That was interesting, kind of like he wants Hooker to look the part, I guess. He gives him a haircut, and yeah, like they're doing his nails. It's very bizarre, but it's fine. So then he gets like an apartment or whatever, and he's like, there's this whole sort of montage, and he goes to this guy whose name is Twist. He's like, can you get anybody? And he's like, after Luther, I can only get 200 or 300. Like, what?
I thought he was going to say like a dozen, maybe at the most,
Yeah. So they're meeting back there. Yeah. And Schneider comes in looking for Hooker again, the cop. And he used the term bunko again, which is great. But anyway, so the whole plan is that Lonergan likes to play poker. It's almost like Casino Royale. It's like you got to get in this game. But the game is on a train, which is kind of funny. But I guess that's where monsters play their poker. I don't know. So they're working it out. So Gondorf, he bribes it. They also, now we have the hook. The title card comes and it's the hook. So yeah, they're rounding up the gang. They bribe a guy to get in the game and everything. And they like give him, decks, like special decks of cards. And they find out what brand of card they use. He's like, I got you too. And they're on the train. Lonergan's walking through the train to get to his game.
Well, they also mentioned that he cheats, but he's good at cheating, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, you're going to cheat and never, you're going to cheat the cheater and whatever. But yeah, as he's walking towards the game, Billy sneaks by him and picks his pocket and then passes it to Hooker. And there's 20 grand in there. And like, I guess he was going to have a good night. It's so funny. The wallets back then, they looked
like enormous.
Yeah, they were huge.
It's almost like the size of a briefcase.
Yeah, like it didn't like long enough to put like the bills in without folding them.
Yeah,
I used to have a train wallet like that. It was my dad's. It was like really long.
Yeah, how no one even carries cash anymore.
So Hooker is watching Gondorf getting his cards ready, and he does he's trying to and they go all over the place, and he's kind of like, but he walks into the game and he's pretending to be drunk, and he says, "This is the line I texted to you guys." Yeah. He says, "Sorry, I'm late. I was taking a crap."
I was taking a twunk.
I mean, it's funny, but I guess when I was so hard on movies from 1973 back in the day when I was like, I can't be good. I didn't expect it to say things like I was taking a crap. Just seemed like it wouldn't be something that people said back then.
That's why this movie isn't like a hard comedy like capital C, but it is a comedy.
And then there's this great line where Robert Shaw says, you should be wearing a tie for this game. This is a gentleman's game. He's like, all right, get me a tie. I love Paul Newman is really funny in this scene. I mean, it's hard to act drunk without overacting, but I think he's doing fine. And he mispronounces Lonergan's. Yeah, exactly. He mispronounces Lonergan's name like every time he says it. He's like, Lonergan. He burps and he corrects him. Just burps at him. So they're setting up the big con, and Erie comes in. He wants to be involved, and he's like, "Oh, you got moxie, kid." I don't know that he said kid, but he likes him. Oh, that's all life. So anyways, they're going, and so yeah, Gondorf in the game. Gondorf wins a big hand. He's got 3 of a kind, and he starts to pour his bottle. And Lonergan gets all mad. He grabs it, and then he wins another hand, and he keeps like knocking people out. And Lonergan says, "No, we're going to take 5." And he goes to the restroom. He gets another deck of cards, like a cheating deck or whatever. I don't know what you call it, like a phony deck, whatever. So this is all filmed.
A force
so
deck.
Well.
Remember that from the first Manchurian Candidate?
Oh, that's yes.
Yeah, there's that part where they start playing solitaire is in this movie is weird.
So I think this is really fun when they go back. He goes back to the table. Gondorf has 3 of a kind again, but he's got 3 threes. And then, so he raises, but there's like the guy behind him. So he's like holding his card literally close to the chest. Like that's, I don't know. That's where the expression is from. But yeah, he keeps looking back at the guy.
We can't forget about the guy, Charles Deercup, that looks exactly like Flea.
Yeah,
I was like, how old is Flea? Why is Flea in this movie? Like I looked it up immediately when I saw the guy. I was like, wait a minute. And it's a common thing that people talk about in this movie. Like there's Reddit threads and stuff about it.
Really? That's funny. So anyways, yeah. So meanwhile, Lonergan has 4 9. So they both have 4 of a kind at this, because they're raising and they're cheating and whatever, but they both have 4 of a kind. And so he raises, it's $10,000 Lonergan raises it to. And he calls. And then you see Gondorf put down 4 jacks. When a minute ago he had 4 threes. And it's just so well done. So he's like, you owe me 15 grand, pal. Lonergan.
He cheated the cheater, basically.
Yeah, right. Lonergan goes to take his wallet out because
he had his own thing, but he can't admit that he cheated because then he show that he cheated.
Yeah, what is he says like
he says,
when he's getting mad about
he
it.
did better than me.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to say? But yeah, so he goes in because he has to pay him, and his wallet's gone because Billy took it. So he's like, let me go back to my room and get it. And he says, no, I don't trust you. I'll send a boy to your room. And he says, you better have it or I'll put the word out and you won't be able to get a game of jacks. So he goes back, and Hooker is the boy that he's going to send. And the dealer, meanwhile, he's like, I gave him 4 threes. He's like, what am I supposed to do? Call him for cheating better than me? So then Hooker goes in to get the money, but then he tells him the truth. And he's like, he cheats, and he hired a dame to clip you. I tell you, I know dame isn't a good thing to say.
It can be. If you it's like
Judi Dench or something.
Yeah.
It's funny in these old movies. Like a dame. He's like, so Hooker is, telling him the truth, basically. But so they were gonna go get him, but they're pulling into the station, so they can't really do anything. So he says, all right. So Hooker says, I want you to get Gondorf because I want to take over his operation, but I need you to break him. He said, I'll give you a lift home. He's like, can you put me in the game? And Hooker wants to get in the game, and if you put up the money or whatever. So they go back to, Hooker goes back to his place, and there's a guy there trying to shoot him. I guess I didn't mention earlier, when he left, he put like a little piece of paper in the door so you could tell if anyone opened the door, that trick.
Oh, yeah, classic.
Yeah. And the guy misses him, and he hides on like the side. It's like a street cleaner thing. I don't know what, I guess that's what that thing is.
Yeah, that thing's zooming right along.
Yeah, it's like a street cleaner.
A Zamboni.
So, yeah, it's kind of like that. And he gets away, and he goes to Gondorf, and this is all very suspicious, but he's like, yeah, we're all good.
I think we should mention that earlier, just one thing, that they've rented out like a basement of this abandoned building and an apartment in that same building that looks down on basically the drugstore where Lonergan will like go to meet Hooker a little bit later. But the whole point of when they rented this big empty room was they got a guy that comes in and like does basically like when they when they like set dress a house, but he like makes it look like it's a horse track racing underground speakeasy, but it's not real. But that's where the team of all the 200 people or whatever they get like are occupy this space as a fake horse betting
betting
office.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. They know that. And apparently that is the same diner that they used in Back to the Future.
Oh, weird.
That's right.
Which is weird because it doesn't look anything like it, but I don't know. Universal's sets,
Universal
Studios.
backlot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I kept thinking about, though, is how it was a set and not an actual location. Because sometimes you could just tell.
And the director actually took a cue from the old gangster movies and didn't really employ a lot of extras for those scenes because they didn't do that in old like 30s gangster movies. So like when they're running around the streets and he's getting shot at and there's a Zamboni, there's not like a bunch of people like walking around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's late at night anyways, but still like he kind of did that on purpose. Stylistic choice.
I gotcha.
It was a style at the time. Anyways, yeah, so the guy goes and says, yeah, I missed, he didn't kill Hooker, and he says, get Selena on it. And I'm like, okay, Selena, okay. But that's just comes into play later. But yeah, so Hooker and Lonergan meet, and he says, okay, it's like, this is a test. You got to bet on this horse in this race. He tells him how to do it. It's like, it's not a lot of money, but it's just more of a test. So he goes to that place that you were talking about, Clay. It's all set up. I love it. Everyone, they're watching from that apartment. Everybody's keeping eyes on everybody.
Yeah, they have like a I don't know what you call it, but it's like a stock ticker thing.
Yeah.
That gives you the results of the race, but they know the results because they're like the guy's like announcing it like it's live, but he's reading old races that happened earlier. So you couldn't have done this with FanDuel and your smartphones today. But the My Favorite Martian guy.
That's what I was saying too when I saw him.
Yeah, he's like the MC announcer, and he's like reading through like I actually looked it up because I watched this movie twice before I suggested we watch it for this, and I was trying to figure out. I was looking for like the ticker tape that gives you the horse results, and it's like really unreadable. Like the result of this thing, I don't know, but they were able to communicate that way.
Yeah, I mean it's so well done. You didn't just text somebody, like you said,
and they have all the
that's how they did it.
They're like quote unquote like goons, like all the people that are in on it. They're probably getting paid like to be there from the winnings or whatever.
Right.
Like they have this one guy who's like Irish guy, like he's maybe from Boston or something, and he kind of has like the rosy red nose because he drinks a lot.
Rosy because he gets punched in the nose at one point.
Yeah. And then there's another guy he's like, I'm really good at like doing a British gentleman. And they're like, okay, go grab a jacket off the rack. Nope, I brought my own stuff.
The tweed suit, yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I brought my own stuff. And this guy brought like all his stage.
He's got like a makeup kit and everything.
Yeah, good makeup kit, fake mustaches. And he's like, put a little of this on your red nose. And then to the other guy when they're all getting set up. And just like that whole like stagecraft of them with this fake betting, off-track betting places, like really, really cool. Like because this is all the big sting. It's all like builds up to like what happens later.
I thought it was about a guy with an allergic reaction to a bumblebee sting, and this movie totally didn't meet my expectations.
I thought it was about the rivalry between Flea and Sting.
Oh, who's the better bass player?
Apparently, it's not. It's not.
Is this the one where he's too late? He doesn't place the bet in time. Lonergan's going to place the bet, but he's too late because he wants to bet like a lot.
I thought that was the second bet.
Maybe you're right. Yeah. Okay. But anyways,
the first bet goes through and then he wins.
Yeah, right? And the horse wins. The horse that he betted on, and Erie's there cheering him on. I love it. And they're like, "You did good, kid. He loves you." But yeah, so the horse wins, and as soon as he leaves, everybody's like, "Yay!" It was really fun. And I love this scene. Hooker goes to see Lonergan, and he's like, eating in his like hotel room or wherever he is. I don't know. It looks like a hotel room, but I love it. He's having like breakfast and he's like just cutting the food, and it's such a fun. I don't know. There's something sinister about it when bad guys like eat. It's weird.
Robert Shaw is a national treasure. I mean, he's just so good at being such an asshole.
Yeah, and it's like
even in real life, apparently. Listen to our Jaws episode where he torches Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a Robert Shaw knowledge drop trivia thing too. He kind of hurt himself skiing or something, or no, he slipped and he hurt his leg. So
it was like racquetball or something.
Yeah. But he kind of like limps through the whole movie, and he had a leg brace underneath his pants, but it kind of added to the villain aspect of the character.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's eating, and so Hooker explains like, I got a guy who tells me the winners, and then like that's how we do it. And he's like, if you bet $400,000 on it or whatever, and he's like, I'll give you 1,000 or whatever. He's like, and I want to meet the guy. And Hooker's like, oh boy. So he calls that guy Twists. He's like, can you figure something out? And he's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. I love that guy. He doesn't panic at all. He's like, I want to meet him at 3:00. Blah, blah. Like he's very specific about when and where he wants to meet him. And like, all right. There's like this scene now because Hooker is in the phone booth talking to Twist, and Schneider, the cop, shows up again. He actually like smashes through the glass and everything. And Hooker like bolts. And I'm going to tell you, Robert Redford is fast.
He's a Tom Cruise fast.
This guy can run. I mean, seriously. Because they weren't like speeding up the film or anything. You could tell.
Yeah, generally you can tell when they speed up the film. And it looked like he did most of his own stunts for his running parts where he was jumping off of things.
Yeah, he hopped the turnstile.
Yeah.
And
it's a big chase.
The fat cop's like he runs chasing him like I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
And then he runs up on the subway platform. It's like an elevated platform, and Redford like does some parkour and ends up on the roof and going the opposite way while the cop is going one way. And it's really fun.
It is, and it's playing this fun, like kind of goofy music to it, whatever. Yeah, he gets away and he goes see Gondorf, and he's not too happy about that whole thing. He's like, oh, Snyder. And he's like, it's okay, I got it. In order to fool Lonergan, they set up this whole, they go to the
Western he got cut on the cheek from the glass in the phone booth. So the lady from the brothel is kind of cleaning them up. Yeah. And like Newman's like, you can't really mess with a guy like that. Be careful.
Yeah. He's like, I got it. So I love this. Twist is setting up this fake office. They go to the Western Union dressed as like painters, and they're like, oh yeah, we got an order here to paint your office. And the guy's like, what? I didn't know about that. And they're like, yeah, we just, it'll just take a little while. Don't worry about it. Like he's like, you just go in the other room. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, you didn't get the order. It's like classic Smithson, not sending the order down, but you get, all right.
I got work to do here. Like, it won't be long. Don't worry about it. So like they as soon as the guy leaves, they like change the office all around. He even puts a framed picture.
The picture of his wife down and puts up another picture of the other guy's wife or whatever.
Yeah. So Lonergan and Hooker show up, and Twist, he's pretending to be the Western Union guy, and he's like, oh, well, we can't talk in here because of the paint. Our office is being painted. Can we get out of here?
Because there's like a front door to it and a back door. And they are able to access the back door, so that the people that are still in the Western Union are like kind of in the front lobby of the place, like going like, oh, I guess they're painting my office.
Yeah. And it works because they're doing something, illegal. You can't just walk in the front door. You go to the back. So, yeah. And he does his bit. He goes to the intercom and he's like, I'm going home for the day. Have any calls, they can reach me tomorrow morning. And like the guy who's actually supposed to be occupying that office is like, what? Like, what? That's the painter. You're like, what? And he goes in to see what's going on. His office is half painted green, and like they just put it all back the way it was. Soon as like,
except for like the half painted wall. It's like so funny.
Just looks at his wall. It's not even a good color. It's gross. It's like puke green.
It is. Yeah. Who wants to paint your office green?
So they talk with Lonergan, and they're trying to figure. It's like, oh, I want it on short odds or whatever, and all this stuff, and like because you can't keep betting on long shots. It becomes too obvious if you win big all the time. So they're figuring it out how they're gonna make all this money. So meanwhile, Schneider gets a call from the FBI, and you can tell they're FBI because they have nice hats. Those hats they wear, they look like they're in a barbershop quartet.
That's what I said too. I'm like, what is the deal with this?
He does something weird when he leaves the table too. Like they're like, we're the FBI, you gotta come with us. And they're like, oh, or whatever. And then he like dips his fingers in his glass of water.
In the water, yeah.
Kinda,
yeah, to wash, I guess.
Ugh. I guess. It looks like weird. It's a weird thing to do. It's a different time.
A different time. So anyway, the FBI wants to take down Lonergan, and he says, we just need you to get Hooker out of there. And they're like, okay. I mean, Schneider wants Hooker anyway, so it's not a big deal. But so then we get The Shutout. It's called another title card there. Perfect.
Yeah, so this is the one where he can't get there in time.
Right. But it's so funny. They're showing how they're setting up the whole thing, like you said, Clay, and like they even show like is like money, but like underneath, it's like a wad of money or like a where it's like taped together, but only the
it's like a stack. Yeah, there's only the top part is money, and the rest is in the stack is like just paper.
Yeah, and this is the one he places the bet, but the guy in front of him like takes too long, and he doesn't get the money in, but the horse still wins.
Yeah,
he's all like,
they didn't have the amount of money to cover if he won, so they play the stalling tactic, so that when he goes to place the bet, the race has already started and he can't place it at that point.
Right. But it also convinces Lonergan that this is legit. Like these guys know the results. I mean, it's not legit, but in his mind, it's legit.
In his mind, it's illegitimate legitimacy.
Yeah. Right.
I just gotta say, like, I know I mentioned it before, but there's a full bar setup, kind of like the cages. Like if you were to go, they still call it the cages if you go to like Foxwoods or whatever, and they're like behind bars, and like there's a guy that's like the teller or not the dealer, but the guy you place the bets with, and then all the chalkboards, and people are frantically running around writing on the chalkboards, and Hooker's like serving drinks. He's kind of like the maitre d' of like the hosting everybody, and it's all totally fake. They had to bring in all that stuff just to create this grand illusion. So it's like a movie within a movie. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, Lonergan is convinced, and he's going to come back tomorrow with $500,000 to bet. So meanwhile, like they're getting ready. Tomorrow is a big day, and Hooker goes to see his waitress. I mean, he's kind of looking around. There's a guy across the street in a hat. It's like he's in a diner, and he's like, that guy out there wants to kill me.
The waitress. So he like goes to eat at this place like every day, and the first time a little earlier in the film, he's like, "Oh, where is like Sally?" And the girl's like, "Oh, I think her Floretta." She's like, "Oh, she had to go deal with her family or something. I'm just here for a couple days or whatever." So when he comes back this time, he's just kind of like warmed up to the idea of this new girl being the waitress.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, go to the bathroom and like just sit in one of the stalls or whatever. It's like he gets her to help him.
Window
open a window, but they open the window behind the stall. The guy comes running in
because of the farts.
But yeah.
Guys, I smell Redford farts around here.
But so he goes out, like he runs out, and he's like in the alley, and someone off screen says like Salino and shoots him in the head. Guys, he's dead. I guess not in the head, but he's dead. Dead. So interesting. A little wrinkle there. Here's the big twist, I guess, or one of the big. Schneider grabs Hooker, brings him to the FBI guy. His name's Polk, the FBI guy, we should point out. So they want to get...
He was also the guy that played MacGyver's boss.
Oh.
Because the whole time I'm like,
familiar.
I'm like, why do I know this guy? And it finally hit me at a certain point. I was like, oh my God, that's who he is.
McGarnagle.
So they want him to give up Gondorf because the FBI want to get him, and he's like, "What? No!" But he's like, "We're gonna arrest Luther's wife if you don't cooperate." And he's like, "Look, can I finish the con first?" He wants to get Lonergan first, and he's like, "And then you can get Gondorf because all I want to do is get Lonergan." So they're like, "All right."
It says a lot of cool dialogue in this scene too. It's like, "You stink, mister." The other guy's like, "Don't be a sap."
I mean, yeah, it's much cooler than I'm giving it, that I like the way I'm portraying it. The dialogue is amazing. So we cut to Gondorf and Hooker playing cribbage, one of my favorite card games.
I was thinking of you during this scene.
Never learned how to play that.
So fun.
That'll be our next bad movie night will be bad cribbage night. Well,
we can do a little cribbage. I have a board that Rachel got me, made custom. It says Durson. It's got a big D on it. It's amazing.
Oh, you got a big D.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, they're playing cribbage, and Hooker's kind of like, and they talk, and he's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. And then he goes to see the waitress again, Loretta, and he's like, hey, when do you get out of here? You want to get a drink? But then he goes to her place, right? Or I guess they walk back to his place. Oh, he sees her, like, the light comes on or whatever.
He's like kind of stalking her out the window.
Across the street or something.
And he sees that she turned her light on and like classic silhouette of her changing into her nightie through the blinds, you know?
Jay goes and knocks on the door and says, you want to go out for a drink? And she's like, you want me to go out now? Like, now. But she invites him in.
Although I'd like her landlady or something, it like is also peeking out the door. It's like, good night, Mrs. Whatever.
Yeah, that's funny. So meanwhile, we cut to Gondorf is in bed with Billy, and Hooker is in bed with this woman. So they both, doing all right for themselves. And then the place across the street, there was like a mysterious hand
with leather gloves.
With leather gloves, and they shut off the light. That wasn't the place. That's not Hooker's place, though, right?
No, it's her place.
Okay. That's the the mysterious hand is in the apartment that looks down at the deli.
All right, so here it is, and then this title card is TheSting. The card is actually like, it was the movie poster in the video store, like the video
on the box,
the VHS cover box and whatever,
Which kind of makes you, I'm putting myself back in like 90s, you guys working at the video store being like, yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't
even think we thought anything about it,
Yeah.
The amount of movies we have covered on the show that I didn't give any thought to the video boxes way back when is
the only reason I would have thought, is because not because people rented it a lot, but I remember like, every year we had to do inventory and check all the movies. So I probably saw it a few times at least. But Hooker is doing the Marty McFly, basically. He wakes, his face is in the pillow, kind of like dead asleep.
Farting away.
Sleeping with his clothes on again.
Farting with all the hot hail, the strength of hot hail.
And because of all that, of course, Loretta's gone because...
Who wants to stay in that stink hole, Good Lord, man, we don't have air conditioning at this time, so I can't.
Yeah.
Got a Dutch oven, though.
So, but it looks like everything is gone. Am I like he goes and opens the closet and the drawers and stuff, and like everything is gone. She didn't have anything.
I think he's just looking for her. I don't think that there's much in that apartment anyways. It's like kind of like a boarding room situation. She's just there visiting, covering for this other waitress, supposedly.
So we find out what she was doing there. In fact, so his wallet is there and his money's still there. So she didn't take it, but basically almost every trace of her is gone.
She is gone.
So it's mysterious. And then meanwhile, we cut to Gondorf. He's getting his gun ready, and then we cut to the mysterious gloved hands getting their gun ready, and then we see Lonergan. He's getting his cash ready.
The FBI guys are on the phone, getting that ready.
Yep. Getting phone.
Red Alert is getting ready.
ready. So the mysterious hands were from the guy earlier who was replaced, the guy who missed the hit earlier. But We do see that. They're not that mysterious anymore. We know whose hands were. But anyway, so Gondorf and Billy, they take one last look at the carousel. They're kind of like, all right.
Had some good late nights with the girls on that carousel.
That's right. And we see Hooker getting dressed up, and he calls Polk, and he's like, all right, see you there.
See you there.
See you there. So anyways, yeah, like the hitman guy, he's kind of following Hooker. Hooker's walking down the alley, and Loretta is there, and she's walking towards him.
Now, this is truly a shocking moment that I was not expecting, even after seeing someone get shot in the head in The Manchurian Candidate. And especially the whole tone of this movie, it being a lowercase comedy, was not expecting what would happen next. Unbelievable. I was really shocked.
It is very similar to The Manchurian Candidate. Yeah, when you're just like, oh, like, so this guy shoots Loretta right in the head, like, boom, right in the forehead.
Shoot her in the head.
I mean, and she had a gun, like, because like Robert Hooker was all just like, hey, like,
what the fuck? I was gonna get lucky again, man.
I thought we might
do a little warning sex
or something,
but she was. So the guy's like, nah, she was gonna kill you, is basically what he says. And then they get in the car, they drive off, and she's Salino.
Yeah, she's the assassin.
Yeah, the guy, her name was Loretta Salino. That's a cool twist. You expect Lonergan when he's like, puts with a twist. You know, when Lonergan says put Salino on it, you just assume it's a man, right? You know, like,
or a lady that didn't look like Geddy Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
But I feel bad saying that. I'm sorry.
We shouldn't say that.
The just the whole conceit of like that Salino, when they came to town, like had to work in the diner for like a few days, like undercover. It's like kind of
like,
cool.
I'm not even good at this job.
Yeah. Well, that's why he says she's a real pro. I mean, I guess she'll even sleep with the guy just to.
Well, it's Robert Redford.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Hooker's like, wow, why didn't you just kill me last night when I was asleep? He said, too many witnesses saw you go into her room, so like they would know she did it. Yeah, like her neighbor, I guess.
Yeah. And also, she hadn't gotten any in like a couple of years, so
yeah,
it was kind of pent up. Figured get that going and then kill
him later. So yeah, like this guy is here, and he says, "Oh, Gondorf had me look after you," which also kind of makes you think like, "Oh, that's." And Hooker kind of is like, yeah, he's a nice guy, and here I am about to turn him into the FBI. Anyways, Lonergan is there. He's in the Back to the Future place. He's waiting by the phone there. He gets the call. Which horse to bet on? It's like Lucky Day or Lucky Draft. I don't know. It's a funny name, but he goes. He places a $500,000 bet. Erie is there. Twist comes in. He sits right next to him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's all set. I placed it on him to win." And he's like, "No, I said place, not win." So,
oopsie doodle.
Lonergan goes, and he wants his money back.
The big dummy question. So
yeah,
there's that song. It's like, I bet on one horse to win and another to show. Like, what is the betting that's happening? Explain it to a 5-year-old, which is me.
I mean, I don't know much about horse racing either, but I think there's win, show, and place, right?
And win, lose, or draw.
I think it's. I don't know. It could be that. I bet my dad would know because his.
But it's like one pays out the most, and
right. Obviously, the winner gets the most, and you know, the others get less. I don't know exactly the order, but I'm pretty sure it's like win, show, and place. I don't know if it's like first, second, third, or whatever. But you know,
so he places the wrong bet essentially.
Yeah, he bet on him to win, but the guy said no. Like the fake Western Union guy who was Twist. He's like, no, I didn't say win. I said place. It's not really a big deal, actually. Which I thought was funny that they were like, because like as he's about to like try to get his money.
Well, he's going to threaten him. He's like, I want my mistake.
Then the FBI comes in and Polk and his guys, and they're like, all right, nobody move. So he walks over to Gondorf. He's like, all right, it's over. And Hooker is standing right next to him, and he says, hey, you can go. Hooker starts to walk away, and Gondorf shoots him in the back.
No.
Then the FBI
Over a matter of $85.
More Back to the Future references.
Can't stop.
So then he says, the Polk shoots Gondorf. And Lonergan is like, oh, and Schneider's there, and he's like, oh. And then Lonergan gets out of there, but he's like, oh, Schneider gets Lonergan out of there. He's like, I gotta get my money. He's like, nah, there's 2 dead guys in there. We gotta get you out of here.
Yeah, big raid.
Yeah. So they run. As soon as everybody's like, the coast is clear, Polk goes over. He tells Hooker, like, it's over. And Hooker wakes up. It's a farce.
Oh, no, it's a farce.
And Gondorf also, nothing. It was, I guess,
He's farced too.
It's a farce. He's got.
He goes over to Paul Newman. He's like, it's a farce. He goes over to Robert Redford. He's like, it's a fart.
Blood capsules in the mouth, the old trusty Johnny Dangerously cigarette holder. Didn't really shoot me, squibs and all that.
Yeah.
It's a big party.
Polk wasn't even part of the FBI. It was all a farce. He was
all staged.
The whole thing was staged, from the FBI office to all of that. And I genuinely also was very surprised that this was, that they weren't shot dead and that it wasn't really the FBI raiding them.
Once Paul Newman was shot, that's when I was like, oh, okay, this is a setup.
Right. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense that he wouldn't see if any of these people had guns. They're about to arrest them. Yeah. But it doesn't matter because he wasn't FBI.
Is this some sort of bust? Or is this some kind of bust?
Yes, it's very impressive.
There we go.
So then, they're like, all right, everybody, we'll go split up the winnings. And Gondorf, he says to Hooker, he's like, do you want to get your share? And he's like, I'd only blow it. And then they walk away. And the entertainer plays again as they're walking away.
Mrs. Elder used to be able to play that on the piano, and she was describing how massively difficult it is. She's like, you're doing like crosshand shit over each other. And I was like, yeah, I can play like 2 chords on the piano, and that's about it.
It's got like a staccato rhythm to it too.
Well,
it's like
our childhood friend Danny Nisby used to think that the Klingon theme from Star Trek, the motion picture, and Next Generation sounded very much like it because it's like do 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 do.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So I guess I can see that. Yeah. Well, anyways, that is the Earned.
Wow, we kept it into an hour.
Hey, about that.
Breezed right through it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a movie is paced very well. It moves along pretty quickly. Movies back then, they weren't as bogged down with a lot of mucky. Even though, like I said, like it was at some points, it's almost because of the way the dialogue is, it's hard to even be like, what did they just say? What are they talking about? But it's not, I don't want to say basic story, but like once you've seen it, you're like, okay, yeah, that was well done. Just, boom, boom, boom. Story beats. I expected it to be more like Lonergan gets involved more or maybe figured it out or something, but no, he doesn't.
He's just a stooge.
I'm glad he didn't.
Just a stooge, yeah. Well, didn't they do a Sting too?
Yes, I was reading up about this. Okay. And let me look it up on Wikipedia because it's ridiculous. It's a full-on comedy starring Jackie Gleason, Terry Garr, Carl Malden, and very, very panned. I got to look it up on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wait, so didn't you know the same people? Oh my God.
Talk amongst yourselves. 10% on Rotten Tomatoes for critics, 29%. And Redford and Newman had nothing to do with it. And it's very much, the same screenwriter, David S. Ward. That's interesting.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, though. Someone can write something brilliant and then something awful. You always get like writers and you always have to answer to a billion different people. So sometimes it's beyond their control when something is terrible. Right. Having worked in advertising, I would come up with something that I would think was pretty good. I'd be like, how's this design? Look at how good it is. And then the client would be like, yeah, I like it, but can we add? And then just everything. Like, here's my entire life story. Here's a picture of my kid. Here's a photograph of a random dog I took while I was walking down the street. And then just add something so that everything started off nice and clean and then just got ugly and terrible. And I would take my name off of things because of it.
Too many star wipes.
Yeah. Well, that was a big problem I had with this movie, where the transitions reminded me of like 1960s sitcoms. That like
or Revenge of the Sith. Go back and listen to Revenge of the Sith episode. But that was another thing I think he wanted to do to make it look like an old 30s movie, So it was a choice, like a conscious choice to make it look like that. But it is a little distracting. Like,
there's a bunch of Monkeys episodes that use those, and that's all I kept thinking of. The same transitions.
Yeah. There's a reason that movies don't have those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was something they did way back in the day, and they stopped because it's weird. It takes you out of it. You're like, oh, I guess they're going to another.
But that's a minor complaint.
Yeah. No, absolutely. A minor.
The title cards are cool though.
Yeah, the title cards are cool. Yeah. But what do we have final thoughts? Do you want me to go? I never go first.
Go first.
All right.
Go first.
I guess it's hard to say. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I never thought about, I was like, it can't possibly be good. And it is. It's very fun. I know you say small C comedy. I guess I think it's a comedy.
And I'm with Clay. Maybe it's a dramedy.
Yeah,
maybe
it's a drama.
I guess.
Because it's not like a real super laugh out loud movie. But it has dramatic parts in it. Yeah, no, not Johnny Dangerous.
This lady gets shot in the head. This isn't Fargan War,
Well, I know. It's not like slapstick or anything, but some of the lines are really funny. It's not a hard drama.
No, it's definitely somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between. It's a comma or a dramedy. Didn't we use that line before? I feel like we used that line before. All right.
We're good at recycling our own gags.
We use all these lines over and over again. But I think I haven't watched, other than Butch and Sundance, I guess. Like, I haven't seen a lot of Paul Newman movies.
He's excellent.
He's really good. He's really funny. And even though it's, but he's also dramatic. I mean, the scene where you first meet him, I love it. I mean, I love the drunk scene on the train. I feel like he becomes kind of secondary as the movie goes along.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
actually. But I mean, I get it because it's about Robert Redford getting revenge for his friends. So, I mean, it's cool. But they're a great team. They have great chemistry. That's why they did like a couple movies together. And this is obviously an A, right? I mean, it can't be anything less than that. So
you have to give it your own grade, sir.
That was my grade. It's an A. You cannot give it anything less. You cannot. And neither can you. Sorry.
And
I'm telling you guys how it is. This is what happens when I go first. I tell you what your grades are. I'm the commander. No. But then seriously, no, it's really fun. And thank you for recommending we do this one because it's a great movie.
It was a good palate cleanser after the Manchurian Candidate remake.
The 2004 Manchurian Candidate, yeah. That's all I got. Thanks to you.
Very well. John, do you want to go or should I?
I'm going to be really fast because I don't have anything to add. I'll also give it an A. I enjoyed it's weird because I liked the movie as I was watching it, but I wasn't loving it. But the more I thought about it, the more I started to like it more and more. I was going to give it a B+ at first, and then it went up to an A-, and now it's gone up to an A. I don't know why it took me 2 days to kind of come around to that, but because I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it or anything like that. So I don't know. My brain was weird. So that's
mood.
Yeah, that's what I got. I'm giving it an A as well. And I have nothing to follow up on.
You have nothing, no responsibility here whatsoever.
Yeah, I got no responsibility here whatsoever. I'm just going to play a little solitaire while Clay gives his answer.
Yeah, I like to think of you playing like solitaire on your desktop and then like all of a sudden just like taking your headset off and like going out there.
Walking into the water. Because this is the river at the end of my street. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I will first of all like to thank you guys for enjoying one of my films.
Enjoy. Yeah, I mean, it had to happen eventually.
Yeah, track record for that. Isn't great. No, just kidding. I think we all, I'll speak for everybody. I think we all enjoy watching each other's movies, even if we don't know what's happening, especially if you haven't seen it before. Yeah. But when I watched the movie, because it was on Netflix, and I said, you know what, I liked that movie as a kid, and I'll give it a shot. And then, similar to you, like the more I thought about it, you know, like when we got home from the variety show where I played the entertainer as the my theme song, and I was just like, you know what, I got like a sort of a mixed group of people here. I'm gonna put on The Sting again, and like let's just watch it again. And then we stayed up late, like watching the movie a second time, and I like was not like, oh, I'm just gonna put this on because I like it. I like thought about it a lot, and then like wanted to sort of see it again, not because I would have missed anything, just it's just so very enjoyable. And if we're talking about the comedy and drama thing, like Darcy, you said that it's fun. If fun was a category of movie, then that's exactly what this is. It's really fun. Like it's besides like the girl getting shot in the head, like it's generally like kind of like what's going on here, like let's see if we can follow like, you know, where the tricks are, what is the sting, and like the card game stuff, and great villain, great leading actors, and I like watching not only Johnny Dangerously, but I'm like a costume drama guy, and I really love Boardwalk Empire. So like any of that old gangster stuff, and especially when they recreate old gangster stuff in Hollywood, I really tend to enjoy it, like Untouchables and all those movies. You know,
Oh yeah,
Godfather, kind of like, you know, flashback eras and stuff. Like I really just I enjoy that stuff, and this movie really put you in there. And I loved all the twists and turns. I love the movie within a movie, like I said, like the stagecraft of them building out that off-track betting thing. Like I just think that's like super cool to go to that extent, have that many people involved in this big sting. Like that's what it's not just about those three main characters. It's about all these people playing very small roles, like people just pretending to drink and gamble all day or whatever, you know. Right. So I will concur with an A. I think giving it an A+ would be, you know, a little kooky to go there with my enthusiasm. I'm gonna concur with the rest of the league and say it's an A. And it's just fun, and those guys are great together. And thank you guys for watching. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Yeah, no, thank you. It is funny. Like John and I used to joke a lot about like the dialogue in Smoking the Bandit, right? Like and like that.
Yeah, we say we would teach that in if we had film.
Yeah,
if we were
screenwriting class. Yeah, to be like I mean, because the writing is so snappy, you know, like the stuff that they say over the radios, you know, like with the handles and everything. And this is kind of in the same vein, I think. All that sort of like all that dialogue about grifting and whatever, like, and it's just like you know what they're saying from the context, but you're just like, oh my god, this is like their world is all just about screwing people out of money, basically. So yeah. But it's so funny, like the dialogue is just like that. It's snappy and it's delivered so well. And yeah, like I don't even know, how would you even know, like if I was I mean, I used to try to write screenplays. I never did anything this good, you know, but like, how do you even know, like, are they making up these words, or are they like,
no, they
somehow know this stuff?
Well, consider that like the 30s were 40 years before the 70s. So it would be like us making a movie about
the 90s.
So
40 years. Sorry. 40 math is off.
So like it's close enough that if you didn't even know, you could probably research it a bit, but also like I feel like the actors and the movie makers are like it's close enough. It's not that much time has gone by, really. You know what I mean? Like you could ask your dad or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. But I mean, you can't like Google it. You know what I mean? Like, but I mean, they did it so well. I mean, you'd think that they probably
they made a lot of gangster
hey.
movies in the 30s. There's a lot of resource there.
It's definitely the thing that I look at when I'm looking at a movie in this way, and the writing and the dialogue, and this.
And I was thinking for them,
person test.
Yeah, for them too. Like it must have been fun to like make a movie that was like a gangster movie from the 30s, because it's not that they lived through that, but that they.
I'm sure they grew up
in the cultural memory.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
right? Yeah, good call. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we got back to not back to it, but it was fun to do just verses, And yeah, very well. The Sting. Thanks for recommending. Any other final thoughts?
No, not
right along. All right.
That'll do it.
You good? All right. Well, don't forget, check us out on LeaguePodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify and Apple and YouTube, where Clay posts our podcast in video form. And
I have a special plug for this week. Both Durson and I are on Substack, and it's easy to remember how to get there. Durson.substack.com and ClayInferno.substack.com. And what we did was, and it's in our feed too, but if you want to sign up for our Substacks, you can do that there. But we posted a special video episode across all of our feeds, including Substack, about Free Comic Book Day and Diamond going bankrupt. And it was a fun episode just to throw the old cameras on and do something a little bit different and share our quote unquote main show with our Substack audience and get another post out for March. So go check that out. It's not exclusive anywhere, but it's on basically anywhere you could think you could watch or listen to it. You can find it, and feel free to sign up for our Substacks.
Yeah, and you can, yes, if you're doing that, head on over there. It's good to get more readers. Thanks to you for doing that. Thanks, John. Thanks, Clay. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
There you go. Adios.
Go take a crap.
We can't let him get away with that.
What was I supposed to do? Call him for teaching better than me in front of the...